know the drill. Run your routes. Clear any infected you see. You run into anything you can't handle. You come back.
Dina, run! This way! Hurry!
I have to finish it. You killed my friends. You remember me?
We let you both live.
I wish things were different. You can choose to be
I
happy.
got your back. You can't stop this. Gotta move quickly now. Wait, that floating island is the gator? Oh, hell no. All right, time to find that church. There it is. Now to get over there. What the hell?
Hurry up! Jump!
A boat and a church.
It's going to be an incredible adventure. Just imagine an entire planet as a hoverboard park. And thanks to your guitar, you will master every challenge. You just need to trust your hoverboard and trust yourself. I wish you could see this. I can't say it's going to be easy, but it's going to be fun.
magical thoughts. All things are real unless you dream they're not. In your dreams, love is the plot, carried on wings of hope.
This isn't just my adventure, Luna. It's ours. It's so beautiful.
You have to be reasonable. The Dragon Master causing problems must be an imposter.
Dodge
this!
When everything
Mega Magic Flame!
Let's rise the dreams of your heart. That innocent you, careless and kind, free to roam the breeze in love. Only when two brilliantly shine as one.
The action kicks off with 22 characters, a mix of 17 familiar faces and new blood, plus 5 DLC fighters and Season Pass 1. Introducing the Rev System, a special offensive toolset you can use from the moment the battle begins. Fight at full throttle and supercharge the excitement. Gain access to Rev blows and strength buffs when your health gauge enters your selected SPG zone. Classic series mechanics are back in full force, and then some. Perform flashy combos at the push of a button with the Smart Style control scheme. When you're ready to take on the world, jump online with crossplay and rollback netcode. You can even hone your skills against auto-generated AI clones. Strive for supremacy in an all-new RPG mode, EOST. Level up your fighter, equip skills, and dominate the opposition on your way to the top. Customize characters your way with color edit, outfits, gear, patterns, and more. Groove to your favorite Fatal Fury songs in the jukebox. Create playlists and customize background music too. Fates intertwine on the streets of Southtown in the struggle for Geese's legacy. Rev it up! Your legend begins now! Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves. Coming April 24th.
昨日と変わらない普通の一日。いつもの街、いつもの光景。毎日それが続く。なんだよこれ。なんなんだよ。あ、くそ。
After a devastating attack by unknown assailants, Takumi Samino's life gets turned upside down. A mysterious school mascot suddenly appears. While Takumi manages to get out of harm's way, he's then forced to enroll at the Last Defense Academy, along with 15 other students. Their mission is to defend the school from hostile student enemies for 100 days. An academy shrouded in secrecy. And the unavoidable loss of allies. Can Takumi survive this 100-day trial, colored by extreme and despair, and return to his normal life? The creators of Danganronpa present the 100-line Last Defense Academy.
El pasado invierno, estábamos en Farewell Ridge. Veíamos a los engendros, a miles y miles, demasiados como para contarlos. Solo podía pensar en que cada uno de nosotros, hombre, mujer o niño, éramos unos sin techo. Ahora el mundo les pertenece.
¡Venid!
Sobreviviremos.
La noche en que subí a Sara a aquel helicóptero me sentí aliviado.
¡Dick, hermano!
¿Qué puta mierda es esa? Las cosas que hicisteis si pudieras arreglarlo todo.
¿De verdad crees que sigue viva? Han muerto millones de personas, pero ella sigue viva.
Sin ninguna esperanza. En una vida mejor. O en un futuro que importe. ¿Para qué coño luchamos?
the sun sets on the Dragon Ninja bloodline.
Genshi, go back to hell.
All paths before me are cruel and arduous. Our time has come.